That's what it's like to have a beast running around your backyard. King of extreme right there. Look at that. Pure freaking muscle movement. This is a real American bully. Not an exotic, but the real deal. We built all-around dogs here, regardless of what other people try to say to knock us down when they can't beat us. All-around dogs. We may not be perfect, but to carry that kind of substance in mass, ain't no dog compared, not yet.
Yo, Bully fam, you ain't ready for this.
It's big money, big cars, big moves. It's Muscletone, brah, there ain't nothing to prove. The best breeds from the States to the outback. Keep your eyes peeled, guaranteed you gon' learn that. Beanstalk, big boss on lock. If a canine was God, it would be this dog. Then Fuji, a movie, bad with the bougie. Dressed in designer, collar or Gucci. Fuck friends wanna make get a dog. This is straight up facts. Nothing like their love, nothing like their pride. They'll bark then bite. They won't fuck you round, won't tell you lies. All they wanna do is ride shotgun Lambo. Chest like Kong, no fear like Rambo. Come to command to the voice and the hand froze. Best set their wrist to your mates and your mates bros. It started out with Magoo, then from there was a seed. From that seed grew a beast by the name Mr. Bean. And from Bean grew a beanstalk. Walks in like Matlock. Cream of the crop, bloodline of some real dogs. 10 toes down, he stands 4 paws flat. I ain't ever gotta ask, he just has my back. He don't need no lead, he just follows me. I ain't even gotta speak, he just knows what I mean. Patrols in the late night to make sure the fan's right. Then back to the house where he sleeps by the kid's side. Yeah, blood's thick, but my pooch will be real tight. Of course, snitches rats, not a dog that don't sit right. Man's best friend by your side till the end. Need I say any more? Muscletone is the best. From Big Bashar to the land down under. Get your stacks out, dogs be ready in summer. Shout out to the whole Muscletone family worldwide. Nothing but love from Australia, lads. Hey Hamish, what do we say down here?
No one likes a bully unless it's a Muscletone bully.
To my house and spent 30 grand with me. Because he found out about me by someone else talking crap about me, showing him my website, and the guy's like, holy shit, that's what the dogs I want, not this. He didn't care what this guy was saying. What he saw is what he wanted, and that's what people don't understand. It don't matter what you say about the dog. It don't matter what you think about the dog, because someone else does not see it in your eyes. You know, they don't see it your way. And you're probably seeing things the way you're seeing it because you're coming from a bad place anyways. You're not coming at it in reality. You're not coming at it for real. You should be able to look at a dog and say, he has this, a beautiful dog. The way I broke down Rocco, beautiful dog. He really is. Is he for me? No, because of this. But I cannot take away from what the dog is. You have to be able to see the good and the bad. I can do this with my own dogs. You know, Magoo is a gorgeous dog. Wrinkles in the face, some people like him, some people don't. Personally, I prefer the tighter skin face, which I preferred Bean or Kaza, because they had a tighter skin on the face. His angulation in one leg, only one leg, which was odd, sucked. His movement wasn't the greatest. Kaza was a better specimen, still not perfect. Bean, much better dog, much better dog. Character, sucked. He was afraid of everything. He was afraid of himself, he was afraid of his own shadow. Saw himself in the mirror one time, he ran back in his cage. I mean, ridiculous. But as a specimen,
Beautiful.
unbelievable. So you have to be able to see the good and the bad in every dog. Same thing with Beanstalk. Is he perfect? No, he's not perfect. He's so freaking wide and big, he runs like this. His head is so big, so he has to pick it up, you know? But his movement, for being that big, is very impressive. The dog can run. I mean, he is fast. I can't catch him, you know? And I'm athletic. And, you know, same with Apollo. Apollo's a massive dog. He can hop the fence in the back. You know, people don't understand how athletic these dogs are. And they just see this big, massive dog. They assume they can't run, they can't walk. And it's not true. That is not true at all. There's so many videos of my dogs running and playing. People are gonna say whatever they want to say. You know, oh, they're not gonna live, oh, they're gonna die. It's not true. So at the end of the day, those who pay attention, then they understand and they know. And when you got people like when I sold Kaza, they decided they wanted to join Muscletone as well. And we started, you know, tsunami took everything out, unfortunately. But they had a beautiful facility that I posted up. It was all made out of marble. I don't know if you all seen it. Gorgeous facility. At that time, it was the best facility I've ever seen. And now we have one being built in Australia, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And pretty much almost done. Jamie owns it. And it's going to be the best facility Muscletone has so far. We have a lot of nice ones. I mean, Romania, Sweden.
Man, that facility is
Poland,
phenomenal.
yeah.
Phenomenal facility.
But this particular one is really unreal. I mean, they have their own pool, everything in that facility. So, point is, you know, when Kaza went there was a big movement, and I went to Taiwan a few times, and we started doing a business venture because they owned a feed company where they made cat food and dog food, and they were going to make the first Muscletone food, and we were working on the formula. Unfortunately, tsunami took everything down. That didn't end up happening. Long story short, they ended up selling everything. So that came out of the line, and then came Bean. Bean was the next big thing. I remember at the time the exotic versus the American bully was the big thing. Oh, American bully this, American bully that, blah, 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 blah. And I started to get calls from certain partners who were afraid of the social media advertising. I'm never afraid of social media. And Bashar, you know, maybe we should switch to exotics. No, we're not switching to exotics. We are not switching. We breed American bully, ABKC registered dogs, and that's what we'll continue doing. You don't want to? It's fine. I'll find someone to take your franchise. Plenty of people in line. No, but they're saying this, and look at this dog. And I'm like, it's all photoshopped shit. These dogs are 30, 40 pounds, okay? They're not 100 pounds like they say they are. They're not 14 inches, 110 pounds. It's bullshit. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're not, because I know what I have here, and I've seen my dogs next to their dogs. So I said, you know what? I got this. So I made an advertisement at the time that I was going to take Bean. Bean wasn't my biggest dog. Oh, I had bigger dogs than Bean. I still have bigger dogs than Bean, quite a bit. But Bean was my best overall dog. He was extreme, he was a grand champion, and he was a famous known dog. So I said, right, I'm going to take Bean, and I'm going to stack him to every dog in the world. Not in the country, in the world. And we did. We went to Taiwan, we went to Philippines, we went to Thailand, we went to across all of Europe, from Belgium, Italy, France, Spain, the UK. Then we did we went to Canada, we went to Montreal, then we went to the States. Started out with New York, worked our way down to Atlanta, California, Las Vegas, Arizona, on and on and on and on.
All the way up to the ABKC Nationals.
All the way to the Nationals.
I remember that.
No one outstacked Bean. No one. Even while traveling and the dog not eating, no one outstacked the dog. Not a single person. Well, then Bean sold for $1 million. Twice. Sold twice.
I didn't know that.
Right. So the first sale, a guy flew in from China, landed in California, and had a suitcase full of money, sent me a picture of it. And someone sent him a picture, I'm not going to mention who, of the dog after the National when he got poisoned. And he was sick in the veterinarian hospital in the back, and he was on tube. And they tried to tell this person that my dog is dying.
Dying, yeah.
Which obviously we know is not true. 6 years ago, the dog's still here, right? And I was like, trying to explain to this gentleman, no, this picture was when the dog got poisoned. He was on some IV, they gave him fluid, they flushed it through him, and he came home 3 days later, and he's fine. There's nothing wrong with the dog. I had already gotten a semen report, blood work, x-rays on his hips, everything done for this client to see that the dog was in perfect health. The dog was immaculate. But they got scared, so they didn't buy the dog. All right. $1 million, this close, gone, in cash. A month later, get a call from Carl and William in the UK. You didn't sell Bean? No, this is what happened. We'll buy him. You buy him? Yep. The shark comes down the UK, we're going to write you a check. Alright? Flew down the UK, picked up a check, came back, cashed it, flew back again with Bean. dropped off the dog. That's how the sale went. And I love Carl and William. I stayed at William's house in Portugal. Me and her did. Beautiful mansion he has on the mountains, crossing the ocean. Gorgeous. William, I love you, bro. Coming back to that house again. Next time I hope you're there. And you know, I love those guys. You know, they're great people. They became friends, and that's a nice thing about this business is that I built friendships like that. You know what I mean? There's business, and then there's friendship, and we take care of each other. You know, so that's what happened with Bean, and that went viral as well. And you know, always we need to step it up. So I get a call. Was it October of last year? September, October, just before we went to Portugal, to William's house. And this gentleman from Australia calls me and says, you know, I'm from Australia, I'm very serious, and I want to buy spots of dogs from you. And I didn't have anything to sell him. And Mashari wanted to sell one of his boys, you know, a partner from Kuwait. And he had 2 gorgeous beanstalk sons. And they were what, 6 months, 7 months?
6 7 months, yeah.
6, 7 months. And I said, Mashari, you know, you take this amount for the dog. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to sell it. I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna try to sell it. So I didn't know how it was gonna go, because I've been dealing with this gentleman for the first time, how serious he was about actually buying the dog, sending me the money, you know, getting the dog here. But I was like, I'll take a chance at it. I know he needed to sell, and I know I had nothing to sell. So I had to do something. So benefit him, benefit me. So sold him this first dog. It was the first dog he bought.
Yes.
Then he says to me, I need females. Okay, well, I don't have anything to sell. Well, how much would you take for this one, that one, whatever? So they were all like in the $70,000 range, obviously, because these are my main females. They make me 100 grand a litter at the least. I'm like, I guess I could spare one, you know. But he wanted all of them.
Wow.
So by the time January came, he had bought $480,000 worth of dogs, and he already paid me.
Okay, now with that being said, was these your females, correct?
My females. Well, wait.
I want to ask you that right there.
Yeah.
That point there with your I don't know if you want to talk about this, but it was a point in time you had a situation. I don't know if you want to talk about it.
I don't know what it is, but I
With
talk about
the loss of certain amount of
When
dogs
they got
that are stolen when they were
Yes, We
stolen.
can talk about it. Yeah, that's why I'm I don't have many females, because they stole everything.
See, a lot of people don't know about that. It was a time where your dogs were stolen. I think only 2 were left behind.
No.
One?
No, 2 puppies were left behind.
2 puppies.
All the litters I had like
8 what? 8 7.
more than, there was 14 dogs stolen.
Yeah.
14 dogs stolen. Two dogs that were closer to a year, and the rest were all like 2 to 3 month old puppies.
Now, how
He had a litter.
Yeah.
He had a litter at my house.
The whole litter gone, yeah.
I had to call him after he had just started doing business with me
Yeah.
for the first time.
That's right.
And
Wow.
he just had started doing business with me at the time. And baby, tell Carlos, just with Carlos, that I'm shipping a seaman today, and I'll call her back in a minute. I'm gonna interview. Sorry, guys. So, he had just started doing business with me. He had just bought Vita for me for quite a bit of money, and he had bought a beanstalk breeding, and you know he counted on me to get the situation of COVID hit, and I couldn't ship the dog to him pregnant, and the puppies had to be born here. He paid for the whelping and everything, and on and on and on. And the puppies were 8 weeks, and they were gorgeous. I mean, they were beautiful. He had sent a friend of his to come, a partner or whatever he was dealing with at the time. So before he became Muscletone, Kuwait, and she had came down. She had looked at the puppies. She had taken pictures, and they were beautiful. I had to call him and tell him that his whole litter was stolen. It was not an easy call. It really sucked. I had to call every person, and I had another client in Japan who is about to be Muscletone Japan, and they had a litter here off of Bell, and I had to tell them that their litter got stolen, you know, and on top of it, my litters got stolen. I had nothing left, and that same morning I found out the dogs were stolen. The shipper who was supposed to pick up most of these dogs pulls up, and I had nothing to give him. I was like, they all got stolen last night. And I had to call every client who was waiting for the shipper to come pick up the dogs for them. and tell all these people that their dog was stolen. This was not an easy phone call. I was so mad.
How
I know.
devastating was this
I know.
during the time?
And he knows I know. Karma's a bitch. But anyhow, it was devastating. Not so much just the financial part, but the fact that I had to tell people what happened and the fact that I don't know what condition those puppies are in. You know? They had dumped one over the fence and paralyzed her. And we ended up having to get her wheels and find her home. So she's literally on wheels, like she walks on with her fronts because her back's paralyzed. And yeah, like I said, karma's a bitch. Anyhow, the point is, yeah, it was a very devastating situation, and it put things a little bit behind in steps because a lot of these offsprings, if not most of them, were beanstalk offsprings.
The reason I brought that story up is relating it to the situation where we are today with
Right.
Australia and them wanting your females and like, hey, I just went to a situation a couple years ago where I lost.
And I really can't spare these dogs, right? So I called my partners overseas and I was like, hey, you know, Michael in Romania, one of my favorite partners, love that guy and his dad and mom. And Michael, I'm coming to see you. We're gonna move some of these dogs you got over there. You got too many dogs. He really did. I mean, his dad loves the dogs. He just keeps everything. He's like, oh, I'm keeping this one. I'm keeping, you know, he'll keep entire litters. And I'm like, you'll go over there, there's like 35, 40 dogs.
No, wow.
Dogs, you know? And he has a huge facility though. I mean, huge, beautiful facility. I put it on video, you guys can see it. And he has some monsters. You guys don't know how much monsters there's in Romania that you guys can pick up for a very fair price if you contacted him. But he won't put them up. Because unless you come to him, he won't sell the dogs. You have to push him. You have to like pull his arm, like, sell me the dog, sell me the dog.
Because he loves it. He
them
just
so
loves the
much.
dog.
So
Yeah.
into those dogs.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous.
And I'll go over there and I'm like, all right, Michael, Michael's like, my dad got too many dogs. We need to do something. I was like, all right. So I get over there and I call Jamie. I have an ocean of dogs, all monsters over here, all Muscletone dogs. Make your picks. So he picked a few dogs, and we had them imported back. We imported 6 dogs back, 1 passed on the way here. Couple for myself, the rest went to Australia. So there was a total of 6 of those dogs going to Australia, I think now. By now there's 6 dogs, so going to Australia out of those 8. No, 4 out of those 6 going to Australia. There's a total of 8 now. Amongst them, Fuji. So I sold Jamie a couple of my personal females, 2 of them. I think 2 or 3. I can't even keep up with what he bought. I don't even know what he bought. So, and like I said, he was spending all this money, and I was like, Jamie, slow down. You don't need to keep spending this kind of money. You have the best of the best. You have more than you need to build an amazing foundation. You need to slow down. Like, he's like on a crazy spree of buying, and he's like, I know, and he's like, all right. And then he wanted to buy King Kong, beanstalk stuff.
Yeah, duh.
And I didn't want to sell King Kong, kind of like the whole cause of the good situation. We came down to the understanding that, if you were to bring beanstalk, it would take over Australia, it would be a big thing, and then you never have to worry about it, because you want to buy all the beanstalk sons. But if he buys the dad, he can make his own beanstalk sons, right? I mean, nobody produces like beanstalk does. But getting rid of beanstalk is not something that's that simple for me, because he's literally my golden geese, like the goose. What do you say this in English?
Golden goose.
Excuse my English. Still working on it, believe it or not, 20 years later. So the number was not low. $2 million on a comb.
Hold up, and a co-own?
Yes, 50-50. Because I can't have no access to beanstalk. So I need seaman, so 50-50, breeding rights, as well as splitting stud fees and on and on and on. That's the price for beanstalk. And for those people who go, oh my God, that's crazy. You guys understand that this man spent almost $500,000 just on the offsprings of beanstalk, just by himself. And he's not the only one. I mean, Roy Jones spent almost that amount on some beanstalk offspring one. So the list goes on and on and on how much money beanstalk brings in.
But sure, I gotta ask you: Are you
5 million since he's
are you
been
always?
around, you know?
Does it surprise you when that number jumps that high? Like, wow, you think about it. You like, wow, I just sold
See,
I sold this bully for the biggest price in American bully history. Now I come back to, wow, I can't believe I actually got this much higher for American
Yeah.
bully. It's like the mark just the goal is steadily pushing forward.
I don't know if it surprises me. It is gonna sound funny, you guys, but every time I make a big sale like that and I agree to it, I don't sleep for a couple of nights. Not because I'm excited that I made the money, but I'm wondering if I made the right choice.
Explain that.
So when I price something, it's not because I just threw a number out there like a lot of these people do out there. I watch them on social media and they just throw, oh my God, it's worth that much, and I'm sold out. And I'm like, but how did you come up with that number? And when you listen to the concept story behind it, I'm like, yeah, no, that doesn't add up. When I sell a dog that's making me at least $500,000 or more per year, I have to think that he can make me that amount for the next 3 to 5 years. So if he's making me, let's just give a rough number, $500,000 a year. So this dog, by the time he's 5 years old, should bring me at least $2 million. At least, right? That's the minimum. Off of that $2 million, I'm going to get the next generation offspring that's going to replace him, that's going to make me $2 million.
Okay.
Amongst them, how many of those dogs that I kept, I'm going to end up selling 3 years later for maybe $200,000-300,000 total in combination. So this dog is worth $5 million, $4 million, because you got to consider the chain of things that you're going through it. So this is how my brain starts to think. Okay, well I have this is this much, that's this much, this that much, and how much is that number? Okay, if I let the dog go now, what happens? Do I have something to replace him? Do I have something to outdo him? So all of these things are super important. They're super important. It's a big calculation in my mind. And considering the fact that I could be wrong. I could always be wrong. And I can always make a mistake. But I can also be wrong not to sell. It can go both ways. So it's stressful. It's a stressful thought because it is a big transaction. It's a transaction that can make me or break me.
Have you been in a situation like that where you like, man, I made a mistake. I should have maybe sold for even more than what I thought.
I regret selling Casa.
That's your biggest one.
Yeah, I regret selling Casa. I really do. It was not worth $1 million. It was not worth it. I needed Casa longer. I didn't give Casa enough chance to stay. I have semen off him, and Jamie just bought Magoo and Casa semen. Now that he's Muscletone, he can use Magoo. And paid over $100,000 for that semen.
Say that again?
Yeah, so Magoo semen sold for $100,000. One of the samples, and Casa's for $25,000. So $125,000 for those 2 units of semen. So you got to consider that this is the numbers that people don't understand that I lose out on when I don't have access to that dog, you know. So yeah, I regret selling Casa. I do. That's I really do. I miss Bean too. I ain't gonna lie, you know. Magoo not as much. At first I did, but definitely Casa. I love that dog. But you know, it is what it is. We move on. We're surpassed that dog anyways. Beanstalk is probably the hardest sell for me. It's hard to separate.
I was going to ask you that. How hard was it for you to let Beanstalk go? Because, you know, it was a big push with him. You know, we had the big stack off with him and Cash Money, RP Cash.
By the way, he was already in the process of being sold when the whole stack off came to be. I did it, and the only reason I did it, and the only reason I've never said this before until now, it was to show Jamie how badass the dog was, that he was untouchable, and he really is untouchable, you know. And I told Jamie, I said, I'm gonna let the dog drop weight. I'm not gonna feed him. I'm not gonna power feed him. I'm not gonna do anything to make. I'm gonna make this dog the worst possible situation, and I bet you he still wins the stack off, and I did. You guys saw Casa and you're like, oh shit. To my worker, she was like, Prashant, he's so skinny, because we know how big he gets, you know. We didn't power feed him, we didn't do any of that, you know. We let him be himself to prove that at his worst he's still the best. So that was the key that day, you know. Yeah, Beanstalk is not easy. I love that dog. He's a little goofball. I love that dog. So, yeah.
What, you know, for people that might be wondering, what does it take to be a part of the Muscletone franchise?
it's $100,000 startup franchise fee, and then after that you have to have the right facility. You have to be the only one in the country. No one else is there already. We don't allow 2 per country, and you have to follow a rule of etiquettes and stuff like that. And the franchise fee really. Other information on www.muscletoneblues.com location page. You can read all of that. That number changes. It's 100,000 is franchise fee. That's eventually going to go up again. So it goes up every few years.
Remember at one point in time we talked about the Muscletone brand and what it would take for you to come up off the brand. At that time, the number was several years ago, 20 million.
20 million.
I'm quite sure that price has gone up significantly since then.
20 million was to sell all of Muscletone, including my dogs, the name,
The franchise.
As of right now, it still stands, in my opinion, around 20 million. Because the revenue is still solidly the same as it has been. It's very consistent. It's been consistent for the past close to 10 years. The revenue of the company is in the same numbers. And but if I sold it, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And Jamie, I told Jamie, I was like, I'm getting old. Jamie's my partner, Troy, who bought Beanstalk. I was like, I'm getting old, and how long I'm gonna be doing this? And he's like, no, don't say that. I'm just starting off. I need you. And that's the other thing. Like he said, I have partners who need me. I just can't leave. I can't. I have obligations, kind of like having children. You can't just walk out on them. I can't walk out on my partners. I love them. They're family to me.
Mm-hmm.
Can they succeed without me? Yeah. They got all the tools they need. They don't need me. But we're together. Let's stick with the group, right? So,
I still need you. I still need you.
You still need me. There you go. So, and that's what makes the 20 million hard to even accept, even if it came along. It makes it hard to accept because I have to think of everyone else. I can't just think of myself. Like, oh yeah, I can take it. I can retire. With everything else I have, and I have no debt, so 20 million, that can make me, a good few million a year just sitting in an investment. But what do I do? What about them? I can't do that. I can't be greedy like that. So that would make it hard. But now we have the food supplement that's out that is about to go big. Yeah, why don't you grab one of those for me? We have the food supplement that's out, and that's about to go big in the dog food. And this has been testing grounds lately, playing with formulas and playing with things. This formula that we have is unbelievable. It will help with pregnancies, will help with sperm count, it will help with skin, it will help with building muscle in the dog, getting them more shredded looking, getting all the vitamins, minerals they need, the glucosamine they need, the calcium and vitamin B they need, the omega-3s that they need, the betamine they need, all of that. It also allows the dog, having all of these nutrition science has showed that they'll keep their stress levels low, and stress is the most important thing when it comes to bodybuilding and muscle. So when you have a dog that's very muscular and you show up to a show and the dog suddenly lost all his looks and stress, and you're like, oh, he didn't look like this at home, I don't know what's going on with him, and he hasn't eaten. It's not because he hasn't eaten. It's a little part of it. It's most likely because he didn't have enough water and he's stressed.
Okay.
So he's dehydrated and he's stressed and everything sucks in. And then if you ever watch a bodybuilder, we go to the Olympias every year, right? Sure. We hang out with the big dogs. He works out with them at the biggest gym in the world in Kuwait.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, Oxygen, yeah. So Big Randy, all those big guys, they all come. Brandon come from Oxygen. He's from the States. He trained in Kuwait. So all these big bodybuilders, if you pay attention to them off the flexing part of the stage, when they're posing, they look like statues. They're like beautiful, right? And then they step to the side and let the next person in, and they relax, and they suddenly go, whoa, and they don't look the same. Why? The mind is stressed. They're not holding their posture. They're not proud. They're not showing off. Same with the dog. Dog walks in the ring. He's like walking in head up, right? Chest out, ears up. All the beauty of the dog shows. Dog walks in the ring, all depressed and sad, all dehydrated. Doesn't look like the same dog. That is what we were trying to fix.
And that's it right
So
there.
This has all the ingredients you need right here. This was not easy to make. So you see it here.
Definitely.
So it's available on Amazon as well for people who don't want to go to the website for whatever reason. Easier to get it on our website, obviously. We do direct ship, and they come pretty fast in a day or two. So the website on this one, did you remind me of the website? It's MB for Muscletone Bullies.
So this will be sold exclusively through Muscletone. It won't be in like your Petco, PetSmart.
We're working on that. Yes.
Oh wow! So
definitely
working on that.
Yes. And Mr. Mashari is coming in. He's handling this part of the business. Everyone's involved. All the partners involved. So mb-bodybuilder.com. So MB for Muscletone-bodybuilder.com, and that's how we. That's where you can get this access to this. Or you can get it on Amazon. You just type in Muscletone Bullies on Amazon, it'll come up. You know. So that's the next big thing right now, right?
Oh, I had to ask you about this before you talk about that next thing. Going back to, I know you see with Dave right now, building the facility right now. Look like he's going to get back into the breeding aspects. Has he talked to you about incorporating the Muscletone into what he's got going on right now?
Dave, as far as I know, and I don't like to speak without knowing 100% things, most of his dogs have Muscletone already in them. They've got Demon Boy from me. So everybody who knows Demon Boy. Demon Boy is a Muscletone production. It's my production. At the time it was me and Sean. We did a breeding together. The breeding was my idea. I talked Sean into it. He had other plans for it. I convinced him to breed to Magoo instead. And I wanted to pick a litter because I knew what that bitch could do. Another beautiful bitch who had already some Muscletone in her. So then we got Demon Boy, and Dave fell in love with the dog, and he ended up with Demon Boy because he wanted the dog. He purchased him and built off of Demon Boy. And a lot of the dogs he has, you could see the Muscletone in it. He's bred to Magoo. He's bred to other ones of my dogs. He's purchased a few dogs that are Muscletone blood, and he's got a lot of dogs that came from William because William, who bought Bean, was partners with Dave, Razor Edge, and a lot of their dogs were in common. And William's first dogs were from me. William started one of the first people in the UK to buy dogs from Muscletone. He's built his whole farm. Everything William has really is 99% Muscletone. So, so everything is based off of that line. So, and I'm happy with it because if anyone's going to do something right with the bloodline, it's going to be people like William and Carl and Brooks Brown did a wonderful job. And, Nikos did a wonderful job with that stuff. And the list goes on. There's so many guys. Forgive me if I forget some people off the top of my head, but there's so many. James Lewis, can't forget him. So many guys. They did a wonderful job bringing in their own little twist to Muscletone, and did a great thing with it. And I believe Dave would. Dave's been doing this longer than me. If anyone knows anything, it's Dave, right? So, I'm excited to see what he's going to do. So, on that aspect. Now, go back about beanstalk. Because that's the main thing right now. So the big sell with beanstalk. So Muscletone Australia is going to be the most powerful American bully breeder kennel on the planet as of right now.
That facility that he showed in that video is phenomenal.
Unreal. That rapper that's rapping in that video, if any people who know rap in that region know that he's a very famous rapper. He has connections out of this world. And get him out.
I tried.
Yeah. And to take him to the kennel, baby. So, So
will you be going out to the opening?
Yes.
Probably November, December.
We're all gonna be there. We're all gonna come out. Roy's coming out. Jeff Monson's coming out. I'm gonna try to get some of the people like Seagal and a lot of big name. We're gonna I'm gonna try to get some really big name people out to the Australia opening of the kennel facility. The dogs are not gonna all be there for a few more months because of quarantine situations and paperwork and rabies. And some of them were shipping out pregnant, so we're gonna do breedings here before we send them out. So they're gonna be a little delay, but once we get everybody secured there in the next couple of months, we're gonna do a big opening. It's gonna be a big event. It's gonna be a big opening. Honestly, guys, I know we've done quite a bit in the bully community, but we're about to make a change in history for the American bully breed that's never been done before. We're gonna take this to another level of recognition. And we're gonna bring an introduction to the bully world, to the entire world. It's gonna be big.
Let me ask you, do you envision one day at ABKC Nationals where you see your Muscletone bullies, pretty much a lineup of Muscletone bullies in the Grand Champion category at the ABKC Nationals going for that best in show?
I've seen it before. I've seen quite a few Muscletone dogs in the lineup at the end. I mean, when I show my dogs, they usually always make it to the end. The problem with having a Muscletone dog win the Nationals is controversy. Judges are afraid. They're very afraid. I've had judges tell me, "For sure, your dog was the best dog in the ring. I couldn't pick it." Literally tell me that. I couldn't pick it.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're afraid. They're afraid because they know that everyone's gonna attack him. Oh, Bashar, he knows Dave, he paid the judges, blah, 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 blah. So they don't want to deal with it. Not everyone has the balls to go out there and do what I do and not be afraid of what people say, you know?
It's interesting that you say that, right? Because me and you talked about this, and a lot of people might not know this. Dave loves extreme bullies, but he can't really talk about it too much because of the majority of the people in ABKC who looking for him to be a certain way, but he likes what he likes.
He likes what he likes, but they...
We're here with Dave Wilson, and we're gonna do a few little bit interview. Dave, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What do you think is the best bully type dog now for ABKC?
If we're talking about an individual dog, best overall, in my personal opinion, I actually think that Muscletone's Magoo, in my opinion, is the epitome of what an American bully should look like. Me as a breeder, I've always bred for the extremities in a dog without going over the edge. And when you take a dog like Magoo, it's a dog that's carrying as much bone and mass as you could possibly put on a dog, but without going over the edge of the dog falling apart. You're still dealing with a functional dog that can move, that can breathe, that, you know, has everything an American bully should have. So if you're picking a dog like that, I would have to say that he is one of the top dogs that I've ever seen, in my opinion, for an overall representation of American bully breed. And one of the few dogs that I personally would want to breed to on more than one just breeding. It's the type of dog I look for.
So now in the game, we have many judges who don't know that what we have to do to let the judge pick dogs like that.
What has to happen is the problem in our bully world is that we've gone through many stages along the way, and we were at a stage where we were very technical on the dogs, and we were going really strict against flaws and everything, you know, against the dog. But the problem is that a lot of the breeders bred away from the heavier built dogs because it was easier to produce a flaw-free dog by removing the added mass in a dog. But the problem with that is that they've bred away from breed type by doing that. So you're actually breeding dogs that don't represent the look of this breed. It's an easy route and an easy way out. And what a lot of people don't understand about our breed is we created our breed by breeding for the extremities without going over the edge. It's just a very delicate thing, and there's not many breeders in this world that can actually produce a dog that has as much bone, head, mass that you can put on a frame and still be flaw-free and still not jump over the edge. So it's a difficult thing to where we're in a side of the world where a lot of the dogs not carrying the flaws tend to also be dogs that aren't quite the breed type. So it's not really a judge issue, it's a breeder issue, because you need more breeders that can produce these dogs that carry all of those traits but still be flaw-free. So
I see a lot of confusion about the new type of American bully and the old type of American bully, like the more like the Stafford and the Standard, and the new big build.
Well, here's the dilemma: is that the old style American bully were the building blocks. Those were the dogs we were using to get to where we wanted to go. They weren't the finished products.
Yeah.
The other side of the story is there's a new side of things that aren't really an American bully, that they've bred in all these other bulldogs and things, and they've gone over the edge into something that's sloppy and that's not really there. So it's a very rare thing nowadays that you're seeing the perfect balance of what a true American bully is. And that's why I use Magoo in my reference, because if you look at a dog like Magoo, even though we can pick all dogs apart for flaws, if you look at a dog like Magoo, we're looking at a dog that is carrying as much massive bone as possible, but yet he hasn't fallen over the edge.
Yes.
You know, he's a perfect example of pushing the extremities, but still keeping a functional dog.
So, the good example from the new type of American Bully, with your own words, is a type of dog like Magoo.
Magoo to me represents what my personal vision is in American Bully. Again, I would tweak many things about many dogs, but that's one dog that you could put out and say, this is a cookie cutter dog right here. This is, if you base yourself off of this type of a dog, you are breeding for what the true American Bully should be.
Thank you very much.
I said it though. He said it. There's interviews of Dave saying, literally saying Magoo and Kaza are his ideal bullies. He has literally said that. And people overlook it. They want to overlook it. They don't want to play it. They don't want people to know because they want so badly the people on their side. And at the end of the day, if you are just honest with yourself, what you have does not mean it's the best. Okay? It does not mean it's the best. It just means it's what you like. You have to allow people to like what they like. You know, Muscletone is not for everyone. Some people like their classics. Some people like their XLs. I think XLs are hideous. I used to have them. I don't like XLs. I don't even think there should be a class of XLs. So that's my opinion, though.
Boy, I'll tell you now, you gonna have all my XL people.
I don't like them.
They gonna be hitting you up for about
They're
that.
gonna hit me up. They're gonna hate me, and I don't have to like what you like. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't like little dogs. Someone who likes little dogs, you know, might get mad at me. Oh, why don't you like little dogs? I just don't like little dogs. I don't think it's a dog. A real dog to me is more massive. So I can like what I like. You know what I mean? So it's.
And I think that's important because you stay true to what you like. You didn't jump on the bandwagons like a lot of people did during that time a few years ago when everybody was getting into the exotic game because they saw what the money was going and they got away from the vision of what they thought was their American Bully look and jumped into the exotic world. Exactly. And for people like you who stuck with it, you haven't dropped the ball, a dime, no money or anything. No. If anything, you've increased in value.
Absolutely.
Because people are looking for that certain look of their American Bully and they have what you're looking for.
Do you know the most difficult thing on the planet to find in a person?
What's that?
Consistency. Consistency. It's not loyalty. It's a lot of loyal people. Okay. It's consistency. Consistency makes you everything. It makes you loyal. It makes you driven. It makes you reliable. It makes you feel safe. People can count on you when you have consistency. Mm-hmm. Because they know what you're going to do. Like consistency can be a bad thing. Someone can be consistent all the time in a bad way, and someone can be consistent all the time in a good way. If I am consistent and I improve every year, you can still talk all the shit you want. But you see, I'm consistent every year. Muscletone has brought to you guys, and it's not just me, my partners included, we're all consistent, right? Because we stick together, and that's the key. You know, when you see Piotr posting a dog after dog after dog, it's better. Jacek, right down the street from him, doing the same thing, dog after dog after dog. William doing the same thing, Michael doing the same thing. They're all doing it, every single one. Okay? My wife knows one thing about you. Have I ever lied to you?
Never. I've tried. I've tried catching him in lies. I'm like, but you said this and you did, and I'm always wrong every time.
Wow.
I don't like to lie.
Every time.
There's no purpose in it. There's no purpose. Now, people hate you for it. They think you're egotistic or you're just, no, it's not that I'm egotistic. I tell you what I know and what I see. And I try to word it in the best possible way so in case I'm wrong, I back myself up. Mm-hmm. So I always say I could be wrong. You heard me say that through this interview. Or I could say, I have never seen more consistent. Because I haven't seen everything. I can't sit out there and hear people, most consistent dog ever, I swear. You don't know that. You could say, I've never seen more consistent. Because I've seen more dogs than all these people talking. I guarantee you, I've traveled the world. I travel the world every year. I see all the dogs. If I tell you this is the most consistent I've ever seen, you better take it to the bank. That is the most consistent dog I've ever seen. So, because I have no reason to lie, because I back it up. But by the time people catch on that I've been telling them about beanstalk 2 years ago, when he was a year. You guys, this is the future. But they were doubting me. They always doubt me. Why? Why are you doubting me? You follow the hype and all these lies on Facebook, but here goes $2 million, $4 million dog overseas. His offsprings are like in the six figures, all of them, and you missed the bandwagon. Like you missed it with Magoo, like you missed it with Kaza, like you missed it with Bean, and now you're missing it with Beanstalk. So you miss that all the time, and that's okay with me. That's okay with me. That's why I don't pressure things, because I tell you, those who choose to believe, I want them to succeed. Those who choose not to believe and have doubt, well, that's on them. I can't help it. So when they come to me years later, well, I didn't know, well, I didn't think, and I hear this all the time, well, I didn't really believe it. People tell me that, you know, can I get it now? No, the dog is closed. Or he's at 10,000, he's at 25,000, he's at 100,000 for seaman collection. Why don't I get him? Well, at one point, you could have got him for 3,500 bucks. I always start him off low. Or you could have got him for 5,000. That's the lowest I start my dogs at now. So, but you missed that bandwagon. You had the chance. I told you up front. I don't need to lie to you. I have no need to lie to you. I don't need the business. I don't need it. I don't have enough dogs to deliver. I don't like sipping semen. I have to drive to the vet 2 hours to ship semen. I gotta do it today. So I don't like it. So for $5 it's not worth it to me. I do it because it's part of the business. And at the end of the day, I'm giving you an opportunity. If you take it, you take it. You don't take it.
Okay.
It doesn't affect me.
Like you said, you always let people know.
Always.
Like who's next at the Beanstalk then? Who's the next up and comer for Muscletone?
Let's do this. Let's go out there and see what Beanstalk's done. I got the dogs at the kennels today. Some of them over here. And we'll bring it out there and we'll have you look at it. Let's go.
How long would the process take for the driveway?
Today, once I can get the concrete. Once I can get concrete. Somebody want to sell it to me.
Really?
They want me to have an account. So I'm calling all these guys that have accounts.
To see if they can get it for you?
$20,000 for concrete that costs 10 grand.
Wow.
And I gotta pay the other guys who are doing the work another 8 grand. And I already spent $3,500 to get this done, leveled and framed. I'm like, I'm not spending $35,000, $40,000 on concrete. That's crazy. I'm trying to be around 25,000, you know? Because then I still gotta build a garage there. That's gonna cost another 50. My wife's gonna kill me, man.
Say the accountant going to get on you too, huh?
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get on me. Here, get on, get in from there. I'm gonna let him out.
Okay.
Beanstalk's on tap. So this dog here, not a year yet.
Woo-wee.
Got massive ear on him.
He is massive on a low frame. Look at that rear. Oh.
Superb. And he's just like his dad.
Just like him.
They all do that.
Yeah.
How old is he right now?
11 months.
Hold up. That's the one I seen last
That's
time.
the one I told Jeremiah to stack up.
Oh my God.
7 months when he found last.
Man, he don't got more massive since then.
He's still growing. He's still a baby. You're gonna get another 10, 15 pounds on him.
What
He's gonna
the?
be that size easily.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Let me get another one of his sons so you guys can see that. Look. Good side?
That song?
That's King Kong. It's 13 months.
Beautiful, man. Now King Kong is how many? Is
13 months.
13 months? Man, I told y'all, man, he had dogs in the cut. I tried to tell y'all, man. Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
That was like 6 months when I saw him. This boy changed.
Let me ask you, what made you buy into the Muscletone brand?
This is what it's all about. My generation about muscles. So the first thing I Google it, dog with muscles, Bashar shows up. So I stopped buying dogs.
How are things going for you over in Kuwait with the American bullies?
Yeah, it's a big change after we show up as a Muscletone. Things start to change, but the market is not that value. So I start become a source for the Middle East, so which is good.
So you would say you are the source for the Middle East then right now, as far as the Muscletone blood?
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
That's Fuji.
So that's Fuji.
That's beanstalk and Vita.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's 14 months, 15 months.
All beanstalk.
Yes.
And this is what you're talking about when we talk about the consistency of the look.
Very consistent. Massive rears, fronts, shoulders,
They got rears, shoulders.
bones, head.
He's, look. Beautiful.
Nice.
Just like him.
In Fuji, you can really see the beanstalk face in him. I couldn't remember. You said Fuji's going to Australia too?
Yes.
Woo! This boy right here going to Australia also as well.
He's a son of beanstalk. His grandfather from my mother's side is a Tyson.
Man, this boy
We
beautiful.
have like Tyson in face a little bit.
Beautiful.
Not that hers is so bad. It's actually pretty good. She's really compact.
Very compact.
You know, keep it consistent. You know, Apollo's almost a perfect specimen. His conformation is unreal. Probably the best conformation of movement I've ever seen in a dog is Apollo's.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Let me put it back down. So, yeah, it's a gorgeous dog. Yeah, so this is pretty much what we've been talking about is the consistency of what beanstalk can do. And this is nothing. I mean, we got so much stuff in there, man, and we've showed him in the past, and so many things around the world. I mean, you're talking every litter he hits. Like the litter that she came out of, there's 4 dogs, I believe, 3 dogs. Yeah, 4 dogs, all identical. Identical. The litter Taz came out of, the litter King Kong, they all, if you've seen King Kong's litter-mate brother that Roy Jones has, it looks identical King Kong. Might be a little bit bigger than King Kong. Actually, Roy got the first pick of that litter. King Kong isn't that the first pick.
Oh, wow.
Actually, the 3rd pick. So the other 2 dogs are
So that really talks about the consistency of that litter.
unreal. The consistency is unreal. And never kept 3rd or 2nd picks in the past. Now I don't even care anymore. Someone willing to buy me off, I'll keep the last pick if it hasn't sold yet, you know?
Oh,
because
wow.
it's that good. It's that close to consistent, you know? The blood is there at the end of the day. So, but I mean, she's a prime example. You know, head, body, shoulders, perfect bite. I mean, perfect
Now-
structure.
now I gotta ask-
Look at that.
Look at this right here, man. Beautiful. Beautiful, man.
Yeah. You wanna go back inside? It's hot. Florida heat. Come on. Go back, bro. And you can see the breathing. Very soft breathing.
Very soft.
90-some degrees outside. It's humid as hell. It's Florida heat. All the dogs have good breathing. No issues. And they play out here every day.
Matter of fact, one of them hopped off the steps I saw on the video.
Touch that step. It's so hot. You know. Get in, girl.
Good. Look at that. Right in.
Come here.
Vita. Vita is the daughter of Tyson.
Now, with your boy Fiji, right?
Fuji.
Fuji. I'm sorry, Fuji. Was it difficult for you to give him up to sell to Australia?
It's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult. But you know, I follow the short strategy. Like you keep on, you know, changing, like generation,
Evolving
yes,
and changing.
Yes. So I started this way. So I'm looking for a better breeding right now. We're gonna be the killer to Polo, and you know, keep on changing. This is all about. You know.
Pretty much continually evolving the look of the Muscletone brand
Exactly.
to where it gets to the point where you have that certain look that you're looking for.
Yes.
But in the meantime, people like the certain look that you have already. You're gonna get them. That'll be a part of the franchise.
Yes. Absolutely right.
We gotta get ready. We gotta go ship some seamen and get you to Miami.
Next stop at the vet in Miami.
Better stop is Miami. My vet all the way by Miami. He's the best vet. Cesar Morales, great vet.
I definitely have a million questions because you know my daughter getting into the vet is going to school to be a vet.
That's your man. All he does is reproductions. All you're gonna see there is American Bully. Mostly exotics, because it is Miami, after all. And mostly Frenchies, but it's all bully breeds. Bulldogs, Frenchies, American Bullies, and exotics.
Can't wait. I definitely can't wait.
Cesar will be the first one to tell you, when it comes to quality dogs, and that's all he does, Muscletone is the best he's seen. You know, he tells me that every time I'm there. He's like, we need to get these dogs here. It's the healthiest dogs we get.
Wow.
And I like hearing that from a vet, that that's all he does is bully breeds, you know?
Yeah, that's great because you get him specialized in one thing. That means he knows all the different issues that come along with that breed.
So he's very familiar, but also in his defense, he deals a lot with exotics, and there are a lot of troubles.
So I gotta ask you about this. Is this like your quiet spot where you come out here and relax and think?
Every morning, I come out with the waterfalls running, the view of the outside right there, as you guys can see. And I sit in that chair and have my coffee in the morning. My wife will join me after she gets up or after she gets done whatever she's doing. And she don't drink coffee. I'll drink my coffee while she sits with me. We spend a good 30-40 minutes every morning just relaxing doing this. How I start my morning. A lot of times in the afternoons, after lunch, whatever, we'll sit in that chair right here, me and her, we'll cuddle, you know, and just enjoy the outside weather. And in the evening, we have dinner outside quite a bit on the table outside because the breeze is so nice at night. So we sit outside and eat. My buddy from Kuwait loves that table. He waits till nighttime.
Now, do you
sitting outside?
You see yourself living anywhere else?
I love this place.
Or you settle down here?
Yeah, they offered me a lot of money for this place. And my wife said, babe, we can just sell it and go buy twice the size house somewhere else because Naples is so expensive. So you can get a lot more for what I have than what I have for the money. I'm like, yeah, but do I want to leave this area? Do I want to?
You love the area. You love the area.
Yeah. Do I want to rebuild this? You know what I mean? It's not worth it. I'm happy. You know.
And that's the most important thing. Happiness.
Money's not everything. You gotta sacrifice some money for quality of life. Not all of it for quality of life. Because that's at the end of the day, money is to buy yourself quality of life. Because that's all you have at the end. Quality. You know, it's not quantity. So yeah, that's what it's about. I love this place. I love this place.
I think the biggest thing, because money provides the freedom to do what you want, and that's what most people want. It's really not the money; it's the freedom to do what you want.
Freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. I live in a resort. My house is a resort. I mean, you've been here so many times, right? So it's a resort. You sit down, you get the view, you got the pool, you got the jacuzzi, you got the suite, the bedroom suite. You got access to everything. You got a series of supercars you can take out into downtown and enjoy the most beautiful dinners. I mean, Naples is literally the ideal place for a man to retire. That's where they all come to retire. That's where all the billionaires live here. We have more billionaires in Naples by capital, and I mean real billionaires, like not people like Elon Musk where their stock dropping down. I'm talking like capital billionaires, the ones who actually give money to people like Elon Musk. The more amount of billionaires in the world are right here in Naples.
Oh wow!
You know, like when George Bush was running for office back in 2000, in the mid 2000s sometime.
2008, around that.
Well,
No,
2008 is when Obama went.
Obama, so about
2001, 2002, around that era when he was collecting money for his next election, from his first term. He flew down in a private jet on a person's property here in Naples, about 10 minutes from my house, landed in his backyard on a jet. The guy struck in the back.
That's crazy.
To ask for money for his campaign. You're talking about George Bush asking another billionaire for money. I don't think people realize how rich the Bush family is and the Cheney family are.
Very.
Yeah. Bigger than Elon Musk and all these guys, and they just don't know about it. That's how rich they are, because their money doesn't show online. You know, that's real money.
Real money.
So when you got people landing like here, that's what you're dealing with. And you get to mingle with these people. Believe it or not, as rich as they are, they're out and about like the rest of us. And you get to learn from them how to invest, how to do this, and so many things. And this is why I like this town, because it allows me to be in a circle that's bigger than me. And it allows me to grow.
You can't be the biggest person in your circle.
You cannot. I mean, everybody comes to me for advice in my circle, but I have another circle that I go for advice. You know what I'm saying? I have to, or else I'd stay where I'm at. I gotta have someone.
You won't grow. You won't grow.
I gotta grow. Growth is, and as I tell my wife and kids every day learn something, because if you don't learn something new today, you wasted a day. You gotta learn something new every day so that you can grow. You know, so it's very important. It's very important. The man I was a week ago and the man I am today is a big difference. So the man I was 10 years ago and the man I am today is not even the same man at all. So and that's gotta keep on going. You know, and for that I need people who pass me in many ways. And I'm good at what I do, but I suck at finance. And that's where these big guys come in. You know, now I'm playing in the same, not the same, far away. I'm playing in a field where I can play with them. On a low end, but very low end, but I can.
But you're still in the field though.
I'm in the field, so now I need to move on up. You know, and it's not about surpassing them or passing them. That's the wrong idea. It's about what can I learn from them so I don't keep making mistakes. You know what I mean? So like when I bought this house, I made a mistake. I had the cash to buy it cash. You know, it was a little over $1 million. I could have bought it cash. It's worth close to 4 or 5 million now. I made out, but I made the mistake of not cashing it out and then financing it.
Okay.
I used I was like, I don't need to put my money in here. Interest is 2%, something like that, 2.9, 3%. I make 15% of my money. I'll leave my money in my investments. What I could have done is I could have bought this house, deducted it out of my taxes because my business property is on it. So I would have had a tax break of over $1 million, which would have put me in the negative that year for my income on my taxes, because I would have like lost big profit merger. It's an investment. Then I would have refinanced. I got another tax break for the interest on that. See, I didn't know any of this. To me, it was Chinese. You know, nobody told me. Even my accountant didn't tell me. This guy goes to me, what? Well, you did what? No. It's not how you do it. This is how you do it. Oh, damn it. You know, I paid $200,000 in taxes extra that year I didn't need to pay.
So it's all about the knowledge. It's all about the knowledge. All about the knowledge.
So, go on and
it's funny, right? Because then people get mad at George Bush. I mean, not Donald Trump. Remember about the time with the whole tax situation. But you got to understand. You got to understand. Can't get mad. You got to know the tax laws.
You got to know the laws. You can't get mad at Trump for that.
And the biggest thing for us in America, you got to have an LLC. You got to have a business. They reward people who have businesses.
Yeah.
As compared to somebody who just working for somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, you can't be mad at Trump. Trump only downfall, in my opinion, is he didn't know how to speak properly. He's very not careful enough with his speech, and he needed to stay off Twitter, and he needed to just not let people get to you. If you are a leader, you can be affected by people's opinion about you. You don't need to sit out there and defend the size of your hand and defend yourself all the time. If you are the head, you're the president of the United States. You're the head of the entire world. The world, not just this country. We're the most powerful country. You don't need to lose sleep over the opinion of a bunch of losers. You don't need to do that. They are entitled to their opinion. You don't lose sleep over it. He lost too much sleep over it. And that's what made him go downwards. If he would have just been stronger in that area, he'd still be president. He would be. And I have no problem with his policies. His policies were great. Much better than these policies right now.
You ain't lying. Wait, gas prices through the roof on you?
Yeah.
Who's this? Who this little boy? Nah, I got him. Who this little? Bashar, who is he?
So it's just mayonnaise and olives and feta.
I thought they said
Look at this boy right here. Look at the bone.
Salmon, so he was like, no, I want to go to McDonald's. And I'm like, what?
Bashar, who is this right here?
My food is so fat.
This is Chewy, Apollo son.
Apollo son.
Apollo to a beanstalk daughter.
This is Apollo to a beanstalk daughter right here.
So Chewy is a Apollo bred to a beanstalk daughter, and so he's got both Apollo and beanstalk, and he's a beautiful dog. He was the last pick of a litter. He was the runt. He was having a difficult time, making the litter. And my worker who nursed the litter fell in love with him. She tube fed him, took care of him, and she's always wanted one. And of course, they're expensive. So as a gift, I let her keep him.
Oh wow.
He's a beautiful specimen, but it is her dog, is a pet. He's available for stud if we want to use him. I've never put him out there because never really had time to market him or take a picture. The dog is compact as can be, and massive as can be as well.